It's time for the Getting Outdoors podcast, Town Country United Bank Lake Millers Ferry Weekend Hunting and Fishing Report. A weekly update on water conditions, ramp events, generating schedules, horse biting, and seasonal hunting information with my outdoor media analysts Joe Allen Dunn and Kevin Sims. This weekly hunting and fishing report is brought to you by the good folks at Town Country United Bank in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for over 40 years. Town Country United Bank's highest priority is satisfied customers. Now, here's your weekend Lake Millers Ferry hunting and fishing report.
There he is. Team Bigfoot, baby. Another one on the B&B Silver Shad. Team Bigfoot in the house.
Team Bigfoot ain't in the house. He's in Thomasville, Alabama, live from Dawn Sports in Thomasville, Alabama. How you doing, Joe Allen?
Doing great, Big Daddy.
All right, everything looking good. I tell you, I had a long conversation with one of your proteges last night, and he said he's thinking that you have turned into a full-time outdoor media analyst and outdoor reporter, because that's all you can do is analyze and report on hunting and fishing, because you can't hunt and fish no more. What do you think about that?
Well, you know, I still got a few more years left in this old dog. I can still hunt a little bit. I should get a little bit of credit, too, for last weekend on all them fish Shane caught, because I told him he didn't think that place had that much channel on in the back, and I got the map out and showed him. He said, okay, I'll go check that out then. And it really paid off for him. So I figured out too, for Shane, I'm a reverse barometer. Wherever I say I think that need to go fish, he'll look at it, and some of it he will, and most of the time he'll say, you go check it out, and I'm gonna go somewhere else. So.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute when we get to the hunting and fishing report. We are live from the Grampian Hills Outdoor Media Center on Getting Outdoors Podcast 184, Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report for the weekend of September the 16th through September the 18th, 2022. We just got through talking with the Alabama Scenic River Trail Executive Director Andrew Samatsky and the Great Alabama 650 Paddle Race Director Greg Mingo, and they were talking about the Alabama 650 race coming up October the 1st. And since 2019, when they had the first Alabama 650 paddle race, paddling Alabama has become a paddling destination for the nation. And I didn't know this, Joe Allen. It's more miles of navigable fresh water than in any other state in the nation. Did you know that?
No. What I liked about it, I listened to some of that interview, and what he loved it was the kind of hospitality they got from Alabama. They loved it more here than anywhere else.
That's exactly right. And well, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go talk to the river legend here. Can you hear me, Hunter?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Got Hunter on the phone. We tried to hook up via because I wanted to see his pretty face, but we got him on the phone. And Hunter, we want to talk to you about a lot of stuff. First thing I want to ask you about, and let's see, I think I got a picture I want to shoot up here. I want to know about your alligator season. This is a picture that I found. I guess this was in the southwest zone when you went out. And looking on the back there, do I see Mandy and John Stokes back there, the world record title holders?
At that moment in time, we was the world champs in the boat. I had the world champs in the boat.
Yeah.
Well, I picked up the rod he hooked the world record with, and it felt like I had Thor's hammer in my hand. I said, we finna do some work here, but that is some jam up people right there.
I guarantee you, they love it too, and you do too. Now, tell us about your gator season. Did you get a tag? I know you went several times, didn't you?
Yes, sir. We went. I went every night but one. We guided in Millers Ferry the first weekend, and we hooked up on a absolute monstrosity, and we fought him about 2 hours, and he broke off at the boat. So it was a heartbreaker on that one, and that was the last night for the tag holder there. So we was in the Southwest the second weekend, and I got to go with Mr. John and Miss Mandy, and we missed some good gators. Well, I missed some good gators. Mr. John put on a clinic at last night, and I think he was a 7'6", 8-footer. We done got to the point in the night the next eyeball dies, and that's about how that went. We rolled up on him and made quick work of him.
Well, Hunter, talk a minute about your brand, the River Legend brand, and all the stuff you do. I want to hear about the frogging too. You did 3 frogging events this summer, didn't you?
Yes, sir. This last one we had on September 3rd, there was not as many people. I think there was maybe 8 boats. I mean, you still had 30 people. I mean, just everybody.
Yeah, but you had 36 boats in one of them, didn't you?
36 on the field. It was 36, then I think like 24, 25. And then I think dove season and football hurt me on this last one.
Mm-hmm.
But now there was more big frogs brought in than any other time. Almost 8 pounds won this last tournament.
Wow.
7-8 is what won it.
And now you're through with the frogging tournaments for this year, right? But you're going to have some next summer. Yes,
sir. You can believe that.
All right, now here's what we want to talk about, and Joe Allen, I want you to help me with this because they are having this is the first crappie tournament you've done this weekend, right, Hunter?
Yes, sir.
Talk about that, and Joe Allen, you shoot in there because I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions about this. Tell us how you're going to do it and what you got going on.
Yes, sir. We're gonna have it out of Mount Vernon Landing. Registration will start at 4:30, and I got up with the guys at Mount Vernon Outdoors. They're just up the road from Mount Vernon Landing, and they are gonna open up at 4 o'clock. Sell minnows and anything, any bait or anything anybody will need that morning. So they helped us out there. Weigh in will be at 2 o'clock. 2 adults per boat. I'm calling an adult 16 and older. If they are under 16, they do not affect the limit in your boat. I want as many kids as possible there. That does my heart good to see that. We've had a bunch of kids in the frog tournaments, and I believe that's a core memory that'll stick with them. 7 fish limit to weigh in. We're gonna pay a first, second, and a third. If there's over 20 boats, we'll pay a third out. $100 entry fee. The lunker is included in your entry fee. And I'm hoping we'll have a good turnout for it.
Well, you got some sticks down there now. You got Dip McMillan and all them boys that fish in his tournaments down there that I'm sure will fish in it. And now, what me and Joe Allen want to know, I did a tournament for the city of Mount Vernon back in the 80s.
Yes,
when
sir.
you go through Mount Vernon and you see all those plants planted in in the middle of the road. All those. That's what we did. We raised that money at that. We had a fishing tournament down there for the Mount Vernon Flower Club. I don't forgot who it was. I went down there and emceed it. But that's when the bait shop was right there in the corner. I forgot the guy that ran that bait shop. And that's when they are the ones that they were really doing some drop shotting back in then. Talk about your area, Mount Vernon Landing. Y'all fixing to get an upgrade on it like we did up here at Bridgeport. Talk about how you fish for crappie down there, because it's different than up here, Hunter. Tell us, if you gonna fish in this tournament, how you gonna fish it?
Ain't no doubt. It's daylight and dark here versus up there. I come to Millers Ferry 2 or 3 times, and I just ain't been able to make it happen. Here, I mean, this time of year, they're gonna hold structure at the moment, I think, down here. If you fish at Mount Vernon South, you got 2 different river levels you got to worry about. If Alabama's up, it's gonna have everything down there pushing and muddy, and then the Tom Bigby may be right. I actually looked for this coming weekend. Barry Steam Plant is 4 foot now. It'll be falling to 2.5 by Saturday. Leroy is at 8 foot, and it'll be down to 4.5 by Saturday. But the Alabama's kind of holding 15 foot level from now throughout the weekend at Claiborne. So you got different movements all over on the water down here.
Well, now, how far is Mount Vernon Landing from where the Tom Bigby meets the Alabama River?
It ain't nowhere. Shoot, 3 miles, if that, maybe 5.
And that creates the Mobile River, right? When they come together, ain't that right?
Yes, sir. Well, where they meet at is the Mobile, and then Mobile splits to Tensas, just south of Mount Vernon, right there.
Yeah. So it's now. How deep is what river? I mean, how deep of water have you got down there? Have you got stump beds? Have you got sloughs and stuff like that down there?
You got a lot of lakes on the Tom Bigby. Right here, the strip in between Mount Vernon and McIntosh, you got several lakes and creeks. That's what I like to fish. I'm not a big main river man. You got, even on the Alabama, you got the Dead Run and Boatyard Lake. So you ain't really hitting a whole lot of sloughs down here and stump beds like y'all got up there.
Mm-hmm. So Joe Allen, how would you fish it if you was going down? Have you ever fished down there, Joe Allen?
Yeah, I used to do a lot of bass fishing, but I was on further down in the Delta. Then we would run up the, on up the Alabama and Tom Bigby. I think a lot of trolling will come into play. Some maybe this time of year too. With those suspended fish out in some of those lakes, and that'll do good too. Then,
do y'all still have any? Go ahead, Joy.
Yeah, I think I know Travis Hudson. He fishes a lot. I think he says that the most time that trolling does better for him down on that low upper end before you get into that, in the Delta part. That live scope done about put an end to that trolling, though. Trolling still got its place. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think is going to win it down there? Do y'all catch many 2-pound fish? Well, I know down there in the Delta, they're not as big, I don't think, as they are up here. But every now and then I see old Dip catch a 2-pound.
Yes, I think 9.5 is what it's going to take to win.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think you got guys like Scott Mitchell and Dip. I mean, they can bring in a 10-pound.
Yeah,
bag.
Scott Mitchell will bring it in, and I tried to get old Shane Jones to come down there, but he said it's too far for him. We done got him running up here on Millers Ferry. When we gonna have a Millers Ferry tournament? Yeah, when you gonna bring one up here?
Y'all tell me the best time to have one and get up with me, and I'll sure bring it that direction.
Well, anytime we look for. I don't know why nobody does crappie tournaments up here. Nobody does. Joe Allen ought to do one. Him and Taylor Ward ought to team up and do one. Well, Taylor's talking about it. We kind of already teaming up on that jugging, but I'm gonna get back with him and try to get him involved on into the crappie. He asked me about the crappie, so we're gonna see. Well, Hunter, tell them one more time about the tournament, how they can sign up, when they can sign up, and it's this Saturday at Mount Vernon Landing. You'll be there at 4:30. Tell everybody how they can get involved with this crappie tournament this weekend.
I'll be there at 4:30 at Mount Vernon Landing, starting registration, signing everybody up. We will blast off at Safe Light. Y'all stop by Mount Vernon Outdoors on your way in, get your minnows, whatever you need, and be back by 2 o'clock. Win you a little bit of money.
All right, y'all need to do a live feed on the way in down there. You need to get some of those little old children that know how to do that stuff.
Yes, sir. I'll make it happen this Saturday. I'll get you one set up.
Well, Hunter, we appreciate it, man. Good luck with your tournaments. Let's stay in touch now. I know it's about the end of the fishing and frogging season, but we'll get started back next spring, and you stay in touch. And you're doing a mighty good job down there, young man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. See you later.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye. Well, I tell you what, Joel, I'm glad to see these young people getting involved. He's doing a great job down in that area, and with them frog tournaments and them crappie tournaments.
Yeah, we need more of it up this way. That frog tournament stuff is what I like that. That when we did that one, but all the winning stuff went south. That's where the big frogs are at down in that delta.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. I called the powerhouse. This is for today. They run in the Millers Ferry powerhouse from midnight to 6 a.m., 2 units, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., 3 units, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., 2 units, from 10 p.m. to midnight, 1 unit. At Jones Bluff from midnight to 6 a.m., 2 units, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., 3 units, from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., 2 units, and from 10 to midnight, 1 unit. So they're moving water on and off all day. I did not get any river temperatures today because you didn't come up here, down here, but Shane told me he got in some 72-degree water the other day. So I don't know what it is now, but if anybody's out there listening that knows what the river temperatures and the slough temperatures are, shoot them to me, because I need to get them to put them up on the bank clock. 72 degrees, that's getting on down there, Joanne.
Yeah, it's going that it cooled off a couple of nights real good, but I've been looking at the weather, it's coming right on back. So we got and thank goodness I counted 10 to 12 days right now out, no rain. So maybe everybody get some bush hogging done, took care of.
But you know what that means? No rain, that means they finna drop that water down real low too.
Yeah. Well, it's that time of year. We're supposed to have low water this time of year.
Trey says 81 degrees. Is that in the river and the slough? But the dredging's going on. They're up in Selma to Selma City Marina. I put a 9-minute video up on my Facebook page. I had several people tell me that they didn't do a good job at the cut of Roland Cooper State Park. But I went through there with my boat, with my camera and depth finder, and you go watch it. It is a 9-minute video. I can't put it up here, but I think they did a good job. It was constantly 6 feet all the way in until you got right there at the end, and then it got up to about 3 feet. Now this was at normal pool, so if they suck that water down, it might be a low spot right there for you. But from the river to right when you enter the slough, it's in pretty darn good shape. I can tell you, they did a pretty good job. Now it might wash right back in there because they just put it up on the side, but they did a good. I say they did a good job at the Roland Cooper State Park cut. Now I hope they do the same thing up at Selma City Marina. I'm hearing some negative talk about down at Claiborne down that way. Mayburn Lake, and said that, and I don't know about 6 Mile Creek. They stayed at 6 Mile Creek a mighty long time. But what every scoop of silt they taking out is helping. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah, it definitely was better than what it was. But I mean, you almost hit bottom all the time at Roland Cooper. So if you got 3 feet on your depth finder, it's really probably about 4 foot of water.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. 4 foot depth. And that's plenty of water, before you could, I'd have to be on plane to come out through there, and I could look back and I'd be digging up mud. So they got it 3 to 4 foot. That's great.
Yeah, it is. I'm satisfied with it. And I do want to tell everybody Kevin's not here. He was coming, but he called me about 2 o'clock and said Brody and them bucking out some broncs over there in Livingston. He was gonna run over there and watch Brody, and I don't mind. I don't blame him at all. So we'll have a full rodeo report next week from Kevin. It's something else. I don't know how many of y'all are members of the Alabama Wildlife Federation, but they put out a quarterly magazine, and I got mine the other day. It's the Wildlife Magazine, and it's got an article in there written by Jason Thornberry, who is with the Nature Conservancy of Alabama. The title of the article is A River Reconnected, and I'm going to just read this right here. In November of 2021, the United States Corps of Engineers entered into a $3 million agreement with the Nature Conservancy of Alabama chapter to study the feasibility of reconnecting fish migration between the Cahaba and Alabama rivers, which will restore the river system's path to the Gulf. The Nature Conservancy is raising half of those funds and putting boots on the ground to provide science-based restoration solutions. Over the next few years, TNC and the Corps of Engineers will explore the option for partial, now remember that word, partial removal of circumvention of two key dams, the Claiborne Locking Dam in Franklin, Alabama, and the Millers Ferry Locking Dam in Wilcox County. So they are spending $3 million to study doing something partially to those two dams where those fish can get up the river. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's going to be interesting to watch and interesting to keep up with.
I don't know. It don't sound too good. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, we just going to have to watch it. But the word partially, that is the word to remember. They're not talking about taking them all the way out. They got to figure out a way to get to where those fish can come up the river. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm keeping up with it. I promise you.
We need to figure out what fish are they worrying about too.
I'll tell you what it is. It is mullet, sturgeon, and skipjack. And they name them in the article. I ain't going to read the whole article, but you need to get the book and read it. And I'll get you a copy of it, Joe Allen, but you need to read it twice. Because the first time I read it, I got really mad. I said, oh, they're fixing to take, but then I read it again, and you just got to read it a couple of times. But it's in the Alabama Wildlife Federation magazine. And when you see them going together and spending $3 million just to study that, they finna do something. I don't know what they're going to do, but they finna do something. And all of us as stakeholders need to be keeping up with it, I guarantee you. And I promise you I'm going to keep up with it for y'all. I guarantee you that. All right, let's see what else we got. Hummingbirds. I tell you, if y'all didn't listen to this week's podcast, last week's podcast with Fred Bassett, you really need to go back and listen to it, because he is the man when it comes to hummingbirds, and I've still got thousands of them coming to my feeder. You still got them, Joel?
Yeah, we got 5 or 6 that stay there all the time.
All right, well, let's see what else. River temperatures. Let's do the hunting and fishing report, Joe Allen. We'll start off with the catfish. Stephen Harrell caught Big Bama Bryant sent me a picture of Stephen Harrell. They caught a big old blue cat. I don't know how many they caught. And he took a heck of a picture at Bridgeport City Landing of a rainbow. But Big Brian had a good day. I hadn't talked to Travis. What about the jugging? What do you do if you come and catfishing this weekend on Millers Ferry? The jugging still open with all that water going down like it is?
You got to time it when they're pulling water. If they're not pulling water, try to take advantage of the wind, out in the river. If you're going to be in the river, I would move back. If there was no water going, I'd move back in those sloughs and put out about 6-foot lines and have my jugs get on one side of the slough where the wind's blowing them across, and that will do the moving. There's plenty of fish in there in the 6 to 8 foot of water around those tops, like I've always said. Shane showed us a nice yellow cat he got while he was crappie fishing, and we know he's in 8 to 10 foot of water. And like I said, you just want jug movement. Me and Donna watched somebody threw some out in front of the house back last week, and they wasn't pulling no water, and they just sit there. That makes it hard. That's why I say you try to if you don't have any current, try to utilize the wind to push them in a slough or on the river. If you got a stretch where you got a lot of wind, and it'll push them down through there. But you got to have something to move them and do the best. And everybody's talking about it's hard finding bait, but if you there's a lot of shad coming up now in the river, and that's why I got I got a small mesh in my net, and I catch those small 2 to 3 inch shad. And you may have to take 2 or 3 of them and thread on a hook, but fresh shad's gonna be your best bet right now if you hadn't froze up any skipjack.
Yeah, that's what Big Bama Bryant says. Shad is his preferred bait right now. It sure is. Tight line.
Yep.
All right, crappie fishing. Shane Jones schooled us this weekend on crappie fishing. I can tell you that. And he said on video, and he called me and you out and said we ought to be ashamed of ourselves for not coming out there and catching some of them fish. But now I'll have to tell you, I got there. I got to where I could see him and put my trolling motor in the water, and both batteries dead on the doornail. So I got an excuse. You ain't got no excuse.
Well, the bad thing about it, Shane makes it look so easy, like it ain't nothing to it, but there's more work into it than you think. And
he does it.
It is, and it was still hot this weekend. I mean, real hot. When I thought about going up there, but by that time the sun popped out, and when that heat hit, I said, "No, I'm going to get on the couch for a little while." So that's what I did.
Well, he caught some whoppers. Now he caught.
Oh yeah.
He was throwing those 16th ounce weedless chartreuse and I think they were chartreuse and white jigs is what he was throwing. He was talking about they mimic that fry that's out there. And he was chasing them down with that live scope. But he said by just about every stump, every stick up that was leaning, it was a fish under it. So you ain't got to have a live scope to catch those fish like that. All you got to do is just ease through those stump piles or treetop, those old dead trees, and those crappie are in there.
Well, you should have been at the house Friday night and filmed us talking, because me and him got down to the kitchen table and laid all the jigs out, and he showed me what he was doing by trimming them, stuff like that. He was customizing them and to have a smaller profile right now,
Yeah.
And there was some good stuff. He had his scissors out and he was trimming and cutting the weed guard, this, that, and the other, and telling me what, why he was doing. And it was good. We're going to get into a seminar on that.
Last year, they were downsizing them little bitty jigs, and Mark Bolden caught some last week with them little 32nd ounce jigs, and Brian Taylor told me to tell you can't catch them sitting on that couch at that kitchen table, Joel.
No, I can't. But I was so comfortable. I was tired of sweating.
Mm-hmm. And Shane said he covered a ton of water, and that's the key to catching them right now. You got to move around. You really do. And that's why I was dead in the water without a trolling motor. If you ain't got a good trolling motor, you ain't going to catch them right now, because they are scattered out. They ain't bunched up nowhere. It is some on a brush pile, but they little bitty fish. All you're gonna catch on a brush pile, at least all I saw was little bitty fish Sunday.
Yeah, we got about 3 more weeks before they get in that show enough feed mode, and they'll be start getting bunched up then, gorging on them shad.
Well, I tell you what, I am a I got me a secret weapon. Ryan Gunn, he is making some. He's tying some jigs, and he sent me some. I can't wait to try out, and it's gonna be some secret weapon for old BDL. I can tell you all that. You better get ready. All right, let's talk about bass fishing. Mason Green sent me some pictures. I think he's fishing up there around Holy Ground up there on the Alabama River. He caught some fine spots this week. The Fruit Jaw last Thursday afternoon, they didn't have many boats, but Michael Etheridge won it. He had 3 fish, weighed 517 with the big fish 308. The next 2 tournaments is just going to be 2 more Fruit Jaw tournaments at Bridgeport City Landing. That will be Thursday, September the 22nd, and October the 20th. Just 2 more Fruit Jaw tournaments from 3 to 5 on Thursday afternoon, September the 22nd and October the 20th. Trey and Leon won the Gilberttown Bass Open at Bridgeport this weekend with 15 pounds of bass. So I hadn't got anything this weekend other than the youth tournament coming up at Roland Cooper State Park. No bass tournaments that I'm aware of this weekend. If you're coming fishing on Millers Ferry, Joe Allen, bass fishing, they probably going to have that water sucked down. What would you do?
Well, really, this time of year with the water sucked down, that's the one I love it. It's real. It turns it on again for me. If you get a little current, but I like pulling those great old big crankbaits up those ledges. I like, Carolina rigs, other plastic stuff, even a big spinnerbait, throwing it out in the river and then slow roll it back up that ledge. You get the different creek mouths or certain places where you got a sharp ledge and them fish would jump on that spinnerbait or the crankbait or the Carolina rig.
Well, that Carolina rig, let me tell you, I stopped and spoke to Tommy Bridges the other day when I was on the river, and he was sitting right in the creek bed, right in the creek bed where the river hits the creek, and he was throwing a Carolina rig with looked like a little old silver white worm, and he caught 3 fish, bam, 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 while me and him was talking.
Yeah, I like, cotton candy's a good color, with a little lizard with a chartreuse tail. But anything that's looks kind of, the same way with the crappie too, that's kind of transparent with a lot of little speckles in it, because it mimics those little bitty bait fish or little shad when in a school coming up through there, that flickering. And that's what it does. And usually for your crankbaits, I go with more of instead of a shad pattern. Now this time of year, I like a brim pattern. Your greens with a little red or green and blue, because all them bluegills out there on them ledges too, and bass are feeding on them. So those are the things I like. That now you can do. There's some other ways too, which many people don't do. That is like with a spoon or something like that, because you can catch anything with them. But the others will catch, your largemouth or your spots, and big spots is out there too.
All right, well, that's bass fishing on Millers Ferry. Let's go to all small game seasons in. Joe Allen, let me tell you now, this happened this afternoon. You called me and you said folks were raising hell about the special teal season coming in too early, and it wasn't no teal. And then I went to Black Belt Waterfowl's YouTube channel, Alan O'Brien. When I launched my boat Sunday morning, I saw his truck there, so I knew he was out there teal, and he limited out on teal, had plenty of teal out there. So you need to go watch that video. And he told me, he said, all you guys fussing got to get out in that water and get in them blinds. That's what you got to do.
Well, what I got to do now, I need to go get in the boat with him. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. But he did. He said he got the limit of teal on Millers Ferry in 30 minutes Monday morning.
Well, I'm going to call him up when we hang up.
All right, and the doves, everybody's getting good dove reports. I went on a dove shoot Saturday. We had the Joe Ishkabibble annual dove shoot. Wasn't many doves, but everybody had a great time. It's just too hot for me to sit out in the field. It was a little just too hot for me. We did kill a few doves, but I'm getting some good dove reports, Joe Allen, a bunch of them.
Yeah, it's been a lot of doves killed this year, and it's showing up by our, sale of shotgun shells. We've really been selling some shells, so they've been burning up some powder. But everybody I've talked to that worked and tried to prepare and have a good field, they have a lot of birds.
And now you got a new shipment of 20 gauge in, didn't you? Didn't I see that on your Facebook page?
Well, it'll be in Friday. I called and they had some more, and I got about 15 cases coming in. Some high brass and the rest low brass, but I got more coming in because we were out right now.
All right, I hadn't heard any reports on squirrels except I did when I was talking to you this evening about the teal. I heard that yapping dog. I don't know what Sarah was barking at. You were telling me a story about it though.
Oh yeah, Sarah's on fire. She more or less done told me and Cameron she's tired of waiting. Because the other morning I was out there picking up sticks and doing it. She went off down the woods and she went to hollering and yapping and carrying on. I said, I need to go get my gun and see if she's got a squirrel. A few minutes later, here she come up and she had the squirrel. She done went to killing them herself. So I don't know.
Sarah it's time. I think she's about 3 or 4 years old. I don't know if she's ever even been on a hunt that I'm aware of. And then we got Dixie and Peanut. Scott done went and got married, so he ain't thinking about hunting ain't on his mind. So they just orphans down there at the river chasing squirrels. I wish somebody would take them hunting.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it this year. This is the year.
All right. Squirrel season is in. Rabbit season. Hadn't heard anybody rabbit or goose season. Does anybody hunt goose, Joe Allen? Anybody?
Some of those young kids get fired up and want to go shoot a goose, but I'm from old school. If I'm going to pull the trigger on something, I got to be able to clean it and eat it.
Yeah.
And geese, I tried it when they first brought them here. And after that, I said, I ain't eating that. So I'm not going to kill one.
That's hard for me to believe. You won't eat a goose and eat a damn gruntle. I don't know about that.
Well, the gruntle's got pretty meat in them now. I said, ain't nothing wrong with that.
All right, that's all I got. We miss Kevin. Kevin will be back next week and have us a good rodeo report. Joe Allen is in done sports. Look like you got a few guns back there. Everything in stock. Anything low?
Yeah, it's things are a little bit better this year, but they're not back to normal by no means. Mm-hmm. And as everybody knows, the price is done just about tripled on a lot of the ammunition. I've never seen it this high. So we're doing the best we can to keep inventory and keep prices down, but they hitting us pretty hard, and fuel prices is causing the shipping costs to go up. So yeah, it is what it is this year. The things change.
All right, are you going dove hunt, squirrel hunt, goose hunt, teal hunt, or crappie fish this weekend?
I'm gonna try to do it all. Foot. I want to do it, but no, I'm gonna probably stick more with the dove hunting. I'm not gonna. If I do anything with a crappie, I'm gonna do hiding some of my structure. I got my whole yard covered in structure, and it's got to get in the water.
Well, Travis said he'd help you. He wants to take you and show you how to catch some fish.
Yeah, I'm scared if I carry Travis, he'll go back behind my back and say, I'll sell you this spot for $300. He'll go to leave it. He'll have my spots on the internet out there for the highest bidder.
Well, man, I don't know if Shane's coming back. You don't never know where the crappie gypsy going to be. He might be here. He might be in Mississippi. He might be in Andalusia, Alabama. You never know.
Well, I figure he was here the last 2 weeks. He's probably going to have to fly somewhere else. I know he gets antsy and wants to try something new, but then after that, he'll be back.
Well, that's one thing for sure. He is relentless. Ain't no doubt about that. He dadgum sure don't mind getting out there.
No.
He said he's listening. He said he'll be there Saturday morning.
Uh-oh.
So there you go.
We're going to get him to do a seminar up there at
We
the,
do a seminar on how to trim them jigs up and
Yeah.
how he's doing it, you know.
Yeah.
What we need to do is we need to do a live. I wish we had internet at your camp. We could sit out there on the deck and just do one.
It ain't strong enough. I do too. Once maybe they get that new tower, we'll get it done.
Yeah. All right, Joe Allen. Well, I tell you what, we might not see you in the studio because I tell you, you got a clear picture and you got the audio's great. That little old thing that we got is doing good in your store right there. I can't guarantee you.
It does. And I thank you for getting it.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go, everybody. Anything else, Joe Allen? Anything at the store you want to tell them about? It's cooking season. It's dove season. What you got in there? What about that Ducket crappie rod? I need me one of them.
I got it, but here's the main thing everybody ought to see is the amount of Remington core locks I got in stock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's everybody that comes in, they are impressed how I done got that many core locks. Plus I got some Federal too. So the core locks is what they're gonna be asking for here pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. All right, Joe Allen Dunn Sports in Thomasville. Like I said, Kevin had to go rodeo this evening, but he'll be back next week. And thank y'all for tuning in every week. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Remember the crappie tournament at Mount Vernon Landing this Saturday morning, and the kids fishing rodeo at Roland Cooper State Park. We'll be talking about that. Jen will be with me Friday morning, and we'll be talking all about the Woodsman Life Kids Rodeo. All right, Joe Allen, thank you, man. We'll see you later.
All right, thank you, Big Daddy.
See y'all.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my savvy, how to hunt and how to carry anything that I might need to get a piece of skillet meat. How to walk and how to hide, how to crawl and how to slide, how to sneak, stalk, and climb and do it all on 2 light feet.